1. Shane van Gisbergen makes NASCAR history, sweeps Chicago Cup and Xfinity races. 2. Shane van Gisbergen wins 2023 Chicago Street Race NASCAR Cup highlights and points update. 3. NASCAR Chicago Street Race 2025, Shane van Gisbergen's historic weekend sweep and EV showcase. 4. Shane van Gisbergen's historic win and controversial finish at Chicago Street Race. 1. Shane van Gisbergen makes NASCAR history, sweeps Chicago Cup and Xfinity races. Imagine the thrill of victory, the roar of the crowd, and the acrid scent of burning rubber filling the air. This was the scene in downtown Chicago as Shane van Gisbergen, a name that has become synonymous with excellence in the racing world, completed an extraordinary weekend sweep in the NASCAR Cup Series. The New Zealand native, known for his exceptional talent and charismatic personality, left an indelible mark on the Windy City with his triumphant performance. But here's where it gets controversial. Van Gisbergen's victory wasn't just a win, it was a statement. He became the second driver in history to sweep both the Xfinity and Cup races in a single weekend from the pole, joining the ranks of Kyle Busch, who achieved this feat at Indianapolis in 2016. This accomplishment not only solidified his status as a top-tier racer but also made him the most successful foreign-born driver in NASCAR's top series. With his third career Cup win, Van Gisbergen has proven himself to be a force to be reckoned with on the track. His victory in Chicago was his second of the season, following a win on the challenging road course in Mexico City last month. Trackhouse Racing owner Justin Marks couldn't contain his admiration, stating, "He's the best road course stock car racer that I've ever seen. I think when he's done with us all and walks away from the sport, I think he's going to walk away as the best road course racer that this sport has ever seen." Marks brought Van Gisbergen over from Australia's supercars for the inaugural NASCAR Chicago experiment in 2023, and the rest, as they say, is history. Van Gisbergen's impact on the sport has been nothing short of transformative. He became the first driver to win his Cup debut since Johnny Rutherford in the second qualifying race at Daytona in 1963. His journey from a casual participant to a full-time NASCAR racer is a testament to his dedication and skill. "This joint, it's changed my life," Van Gisbergen said, reflecting on his unexpected rise to fame. "I didn't have any plans to do more NASCAR races when I first came over here, and I never thought I'd be in NASCAR full-time." In what might be the final NASCAR race on the downtown Chicago circuit, Gibbs secured second place, followed by Tyler Reddick in third. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch rounded out the top five. Gibbs, who finished just shy of the win, praised his team's strategy, saying, "It worked out for us today, so I'm glad to have a good finish, but we wish we could have gone for the win." Michael McDowell, who started on the front row alongside Van Gisbergen, quickly took the lead and won Stage 1. He led for 31 laps before a throttle cable issue derailed his chances. Van Gisbergen regained the lead with 16 laps remaining, navigating through fog and rain to secure his victory. A.J. Allmendinger finished 6th, and Ryan Preece took 7th. Ryan Blaney, who won the second stage, finished 12th. "I thought overall it was a pretty decent day. It was nice to win that stage," Blaney said, reflecting on his performance. William Byron's day was cut short by a clutch problem, but he still leads the point standings by 13 points over Chase Elliott. The race saw its share of drama, including a multi-car crash caused by Carson Hocevar, which collected Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, and Will Brown. Keselowski, who was involved in the crash, commented, "I didn't see it until the last second. I slowed down and I actually felt I was going to get stopped and then I just kind of got ran over from behind. It's just a narrow street course and sometimes there's nowhere to go." Ty Dillon and Tyler Reddick advanced to the third round of NASCAR's inaugural in-season tournament, thanks to the misfortunes of Keselowski and Hocevar. Dillon, the number 32 seed, eliminated Keselowski after upsetting top-seeded Denny Hamlin last weekend at Atlanta. The winner of the 5-race, bracket-style tournament will take home a $1 million prize. Alex Bowman, the 2024 champion on the downtown street course, won his head-to-head matchup with Bubba Wallace. The two drivers made contact late in the race, adding to the drama of the event. Bowman, reflecting on the incident, said, "I wasn't expecting that to happen or to get raced like that, but we did. We just have to move on from it and keep digging. I don't really know what I could have done much different." Katherine Legge made history by finishing 19th, her best career Cup result. She became the first woman to finish in the top 20 in a Cup race since Danica Patrick at Texas in November 2017. Legge was also the first woman to qualify for the Cup race in downtown Chicago. The Cup Series will next head to Sonoma Raceway in California on July 13th. And this is the part most people miss. The racing world is abuzz with excitement and controversy. Van Gisbergen's dominance raises questions about the future of international talent in NASCAR. Will more foreign-born drivers follow in his footsteps, or will American drivers reclaim their dominance? The debate rages on, and fans are eager to see what the future holds. What do you think? Will Van Gisbergen's success inspire a new generation of international racers, or will it be a fleeting moment in NASCAR history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Shane Van Gisbergen wins 2023 Chicago Street Race NASCAR Cup highlights and points update. History was made on the streets of Chicago this weekend, proving that lightning can strike twice. Shane Van Gisbergen didn't just win Sunday's chaotic NASCAR Cup Series race, he utterly dominated, securing victory from the coveted pole position. But here's where it gets truly remarkable, this win wasn't a fluke. It capped off an absolutely dominant weekend for Van Gisbergen, who also powered his way to victory from the pole in Saturday's Xfinity Series race on the exact same demanding 12-turn, 2.2-mile street circuit. Achieving this double victory sweep from the front spot is a feat rarely seen, showcasing his exceptional skill on a difficult street course layout. Meanwhile, the championship points battle took a dramatic turn, tightening significantly as some top contenders stumbled. Gibbs delivered a stellar performance, matching his personal best Cup Series finish by claiming a hard-fought second place. Tyler Reddick rounded out the podium in third, demonstrating consistent speed. Denny Hamlin's fourth-place finish was particularly impressive given his massive setback, forced to start dead last after an engine failure on his very first practice lap Saturday necessitated a full engine change. His climb through the field was a masterclass in perseverance. Kyle Busch completed the top 5, showing his trademark resilience. Further down the order, A.J. Allmendinger crossed the line in 6th, followed by Ryan Preece in 7th and Alex Bowman in 8th. A major highlight was Austin Hill achieving a career-best 9th-place finish in only his 12th career Cup start, a significant milestone signaling his growing potential. Ross Chastain battled his way to complete the top 10, a solid recovery after mid-race challenges. Now, here's the seismic shift everyone's talking about. Points leader William Byron's disastrous day ended with a crushing 40th-place finish. This single result threw the championship wide open, drastically tightening the standings with just 7 races remaining in the regular season. Controversy hook: is the current points system too punishing for a single bad race? Byron now clings to the lead by just 13 points over the charging Chase Elliott. But the pressure mounts rapidly. Kyle Larson lurks just 19 points back, the surging Denny Hamlin is only 43 points behind, and Tyler Reddick sits 48 points off the lead. This sets up a nail-biting sprint to the playoffs. Adding another layer of tension, Bubba Wallace currently holds onto the crucial 16th and final playoff spot. However, Ryan Preece is breathing down his neck, just a mere 2 points behind, setting up an intense battle for that last berth in the coming weeks. Do you think Byron can hold on to the lead, or will this Chicago chaos completely reshape the playoff picture? Share your predictions in the comments. 3. NASCAR Chicago Street Race 2025, Shane Van Gisbergen's historic weekend sweep and EV showcase. Buckle up, Chicago's legendary Grant Park just morphed into a roaring speedway for the 3rd straight year, and the adrenaline still hangs in the air. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this weekend's rubber-burning spectacle a triumphant boost for the city, or an unnecessary traffic nightmare? Let's dive in and you decide. Sunday marked Day 2 of Chicago's 3rd annual NASCAR Street Race, an event that transformed downtown into a 2.2-mile, 12-turn arena framed by the shimmering skyline. Fans squeezed against fences and grandstands as the NASCAR Cup Series, branded the Grant Park 165, tore through 75 laps of tight corners and long blasts down DuSable Lake Shore Drive. Chicago Bulls icon Derrick Rose, flashing his trademark grin, waved the ceremonial flag as Grand Marshal. And this is the part most people miss. New Zealand superstar Shane van Gisbergen didn't just win, he swept the entire weekend. After grabbing Saturday's Xfinity Series victory under postcard-perfect skies, he doubled down Sunday to clinch the Cup Series, proving last year's breakout wasn't a fluke. 2 races, 2 trophies, 1 driver grinning ear to ear. Grant Park buzzed with more than engine noise. In NASCAR Village, merch tents, food trucks, and live music kept energy high. Visitors like Michigan's Sophia Winkelbeck soaked it up. I'm not from here, so the usual traffic isn't my headache, but this is insanely fun. St. Louis tourist George Peters loved the flexibility of roaming viewpoints. There's no other track where you can slide from one corner to the next with skyscrapers as backdrops. Even local diehard Kashif Charania shrugged off the street closures. It's loud, it's fast, and I'm here for it. Still, some Chicagoans eyed the barricades and detours warily. The northbound lanes of DuSable Lake Shore Drive are due to reopen at 6 a.m. Monday, yet even a shortened construction schedule couldn't quiet every complaint. Remember, this year closes out NASCAR's initial 3-year contract with the city, though 2 optional extensions could bring the circus back in 2026 and 2027. Is the buzz worth the inconvenience? Opinions already clash at neighborhood coffee shops. Cue another twist. While gasoline engines thundered, an all-electric Challenger silently announced the future. NASCAR, ABB, Ford, and Chevrolet unveiled a trio of prototype EV racers, a Ford Mustang Mach-E, an ABB NASCAR concept, and a Chevy Blazer EVR pumping out a jaw-dropping 1,360 horsepower from 3 electric motors. Engineer Chris Shigas beamed, "There's no engine here, just pure electric muscle." Driver Raja Kareth likened the instant torque to a video game power-up. "It's literally like Mario Kart, hit the star and you're gone." The development took 2 years, said NASCAR engineer CJ Tobin, who insists the organization wants to steer the energy conversation, not chase it from the back seat. By sundown, crews were already rolling up fencing and sweeping streets as confetti still clung to curbs. For many, the weekend was validation. City culture, skyline views, and motorsport can coexist. For others, the honking horns of rerouted traffic tell another story. Bold takeaway, NASCAR proved once again it can turn Chicago's downtown into a high-octane playground, while hinting at an electrified future. Yet the debate over street closures and environmental impact is far from settled. Your turn. Should Chicago lock in another multi-year NASCAR deal, or put the brakes on street racing altogether? Does the promise of cutting-edge EV technology tip the scales, or will nothing ever replace the roar of a V8? Sound off, are you cheering or jeering? The comments are wide open. 4. Shane van Gisbergen's historic win and controversial finish at Chicago Street Race. Chicago Insights, SVG triumphs, contentious conclusion, frayed tempers and potential NASCAR shift. Chicago, Ill, on Sunday, Shane van Gisbergen, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Shane-van-Gisbergen-driver, etched his name further into the annals of racing history in the very city where he first made a significant mark. After clinching victory in the NASCAR Cup Series Grant Park 165, Shane van Gisbergen and his team celebrated a remarkable achievement. The talented driver from New Zealand, who made headlines by winning the inaugural Chicago Street Race during his Cup debut in 2023, secured his second victory at this venue in just 3 years. He maintained a solid lead over Ty Gibbs, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Ty-Gibbs-driver, when a caution flag was waved on the final lap of the race. Known affectionately as SVG, he has now become only the second driver in history to achieve a weekend sweep in both the Xfinity, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Xfinity-Series, and Cup Series by winning both races from the pole position. The only other driver to accomplish this feat was Kyle Busch, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Kyle-Busch-driver, at Indianapolis in 2016. With this latest win, Van Gisbergen has also made history as the most successful foreign-born driver in the NASCAR Cup Series, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Cup-Series. This is quite an accomplishment for a driver who initially had no plans to compete in NASCAR, aside from a one-off race with Trackhouse Racing 2 years ago. "This place has truly transformed my life," remarked Van Gisbergen, a 3-time Australian Supercars champion, who admits he prefers open spaces and greenery over urban environments. "When I first arrived, I had no intentions of racing more in NASCAR, and I never imagined I would be involved full-time." Interestingly, rain only began to fall on the cars moments after the checkered flag was waved. Here are the key takeaways from a race that was predominantly dry. Controversial caution. As Van Gisbergen approached the penultimate lap, Cody Ware, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Cody-Ware-driver, experienced a brake rotor failure, resulting in a collision with the Turn 6 tire barrier. Although it was a significant impact, NASCAR did not issue a caution until Van Gisbergen had crossed the start-finish line and received the white flag. Since Van Gisbergen had already taken the white flag, the final lap was completed under caution, making the race official. Had the caution been called before he received the white flag, there would have been an overtime restart, leading to a 2-lap sprint to the finish. During the race, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., driving the number 47 Rate Chevrolet, and Cody Ware, in the number 51 Arby's new Angus cheesesteak Ford, were also in contention. NASCAR had previously waited to assess whether drivers could maneuver their cars after hitting the tire barrier, unaware of the severity of Ware's impact. The caution was only thrown once officials realized he could not restart his vehicle. The collision was so intense that Van Gisbergen could see the smoke from several hundred feet away, in a section visible from the front stretch. "As I exited the last corner, I noticed a massive cloud of smoke directly ahead of Turn 6, and I held my breath until I crossed the finish line," Van Gisbergen recounted. "After receiving the white flag, I navigated a few more corners before the yellow flag came out. It was a huge relief." Ty Gibbs, who finished in second place, along with Tyler Reddick, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Tyler-Reddick-driver, who came in third, both expressed a desire for another chance to challenge Van Gisbergen during a restart. "I would have been completely on board with that, but I'm not sure if it should have been thrown," Gibbs commented. "That would have been incredible." Frayed tempers. Road courses often ignite tempers, particularly on street circuits where there is minimal room for error. Joey Logano, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Joey-Logano-driver, appeared to be the most agitated, confronting Ross Chastain, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Ross-Chastain-driver, for several minutes post-race. As he departed the track, Logano claimed that Chastain admitted to intentionally turning him, suggesting that Chastain should face a fine. Logano's frustration was compounded by the fact that it was actually Austin Cindric, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Austin-Cindric-driver, who instigated the incident. "That's just classic Ross. He gets angry and makes reckless decisions," Logano expressed. "This year alone, I've been negatively impacted by him twice on road courses during crucial moments. I'm done with it." Bubba Wallace, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Darrell-Wallace-Jr-driver, and Alex Bowman, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Alex-Bowman-driver, also had a brief exchange after they collided near the race's conclusion. He pushed us into turn 12, forced us into the wall in turn 1, and then again into the wall off turn 2, Bowman explained. We ended up bouncing off each other, and he came out worse for it. We were just trying to maintain a straight line off the corner. I didn't expect that kind of racing from him, but it happened. These drivers are unlikely to forget this race anytime soon, especially with another road course event scheduled for next week in Sonoma. NASCAR is also likely to take note of these incidents, as the league may consider whether any disciplinary actions are warranted against the involved drivers. Is this the last year for Chicago? NASCAR's agreement with the Chicago Parks Department was set for 3 years, with some options for extension. However, there are indications that NASCAR may be contemplating relocating its street race to San Diego. Officials from NASCAR reiterated on Sunday that discussions with Chicago are ongoing, and they have a couple of months to reach a decision. Typically, NASCAR prefers to finalize its schedule by late summer. Chicago's mayor, Brandon Johnson, addressed the drivers before the race, just as he did the previous year. Drivers have mixed feelings. While they appreciate the street race, they also recognize the benefits of rotating the event. Street races are something this sport should embrace, no matter the location, be it Chicago, San Diego, or elsewhere, stated Justin Marks, https://www.foxsports.com/NASCAR/Justin-Marks-driver, the owner of Trackhouse Racing. I've always believed in taking our product directly to the fans. If we can bring what we do right into the heart of a city, allowing people who have never witnessed a race to experience it, that can only enhance the sport's appeal. Bob Pockrass has been covering NASCAR and IndyCar for Fox Sports for decades, including over 30 Daytona 500s, with previous roles at ESPN, Sporting News, NASCAR Scene Magazine, and the Daytona Beach News Journal. Follow him on Twitter at Bob Pockrass, https://twitter.com/BobPockrass.